In episode 12, Karen invites friends on a wood warbler hunt on the Texas coast. The month of May, the peak of spring migration in Texas, is a great time to visit several spots all along the Gulf Coast, from Sabine Pass down to South Padre Island. If the weather conditions are right, you might experience a fallout, an event where colorful birds are highly concentrated in protected spots near the barrier islands, an experience you won't want to miss. If you like these podcasts, please consider following us. Or if listening on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Your interest and support are what make these segments possible and keep us going. To learn more about Wild Texas, visit our website at www.reflectionstexas.com.
The first week in May has to be one of the supercharged best times of the year. That is, if you are a birdwatcher. Excuse me, a birder. Birders dream of going out and seeing lots of incredible, colorful, not often seen species. And this is what happens along the Texas coast in May. Lots of splendid birds pass through on their way to the northern forests. And many of these gems are warblers. What is a warbler? Well, by definition, a warbler, also called a wood-warbler, is a bird that can sing. Wood-warblers are small birds weighing only a third of an ounce. They are insectivorous, active, and colorful. Some 60 species of wood-warblers are breeding in North America, north of the Mexican border, and another 50 or so species in Central and South America. Warblers generate excitement. One writer describes the allure of warblers as like catnip for birdwatchers. And indeed, the intoxication of a warbler hunt is very like a cat's excitement in the presence of its favorite herb. We warbler hunters are definitely on the lookout. Our eyes are focused on color and movement. And we feel a strong compulsion to look for them, wherever they might be. And we almost turn somersaults with joy when we find them. So it is unsurprising that when I invited 3 of my girl birder friends to go on a warbler hunt, they all responded with an excited yes. We decided on May the 2nd, a convenient date for us and at the height of the warbler migration. We planned to go where the singers were expected. That means close to the coast, where the migrants, flying across the Gulf of Mexico, stop to rest and refuel before heading further inland and northward. Several known hotspots along the Texas coast routinely provide respite for incoming, exhausted migrants. These are the places birders know to go to find those wonderful, colorful warblers that everyone wants to see. Among these locales is a tiny spot behind what was once known as Paradise Motel in Port Aransas. Early on, it was dubbed Paradise Pond, and most birders knew of it. The winning team of the 1999 Texas Birding Classic, a major annual birding competition, was the Wild Birders, sponsored by Wild Bird magazine. They donated their $25,000 prize money toward acquiring and preserving Paradise Pond, and other donors chipped in to buy signage and boardwalks. In 2002, it was dedicated as the Joan and Scott Holt Paradise Pond birding site, and it is now an internationally known birding location. Paradise Pond was our first destination. We birder ladies descended on the pond like the warblers we hoped to see. All excitement and anticipation. Of course, the birds were looking for food and water and rest after a long flight over the Gulf. We were looking to see color and rarities. And we were in luck. The first bird we encountered was a warbler, a northern parula. It was just a few feet from us, gleaning insects from some low-growing plants. It was a male, based on the black and reddish-brown crescent on its breast. He was very accommodating and relatively unfazed by our attentions. We went on to see and hear some eastern wood pewees, flycatchers who whistle out their name in a sort of mournful peewee. Gray catbirds, orioles, and buntings, and yes, more warblers. Perhaps the most delightful warbler sighting was of a Nashville warbler splashing around in one of the drip puddles. It made me cooler just watching it. Another birding site beckoned. It was the Leona Bell, Turnbull, Birding Center, located next to the water treatment plant in Port Aransas. This location was a cattail marsh with acres of shallow water and lots of wading and water birds. There were cormorants, turtles, herons and egrets, spoonbills, ducks, and even a very large alligator. But the species that charmed us all was a tiny heron-like bird. Right next to the boardwalk, just a few feet from where we stood, was a patient fisherman, a least bittern. He was clinging to the stems of cattails with his very dexterous feet. Are birds' ankles supposed to bend outward like that? Just out of reach was a school of top minnows. He could get within 6 inches of catching a fish if he stretched out his neck to maximum length, which he did several times. But the fish would come no closer. It was as if they knew to stay at least a foot away from the cattail stems. Likely, the ones that didn't instinctively stay 12 inches away from cattails had already been eaten by bitterns, and only the smart minnows were left. All in all, it was an excellent birding trip. I hope many of you will also check out Port Aransas soon. It's a great place to go birding on a Texas spring day.
Again, please follow us on your podcast site of choice. Your interest and support help make us more visible, and more like-minded listeners can find us. We're all about getting the conservation message out there, and you can help with your support. Thank you.